Welcome back to an episode of the Primal Project Podcast. I'm your host, Daniel James, and if you're new here, welcome. Today, I want to talk to you about the 3 reasons why you may feel lonely on your self-improvement journey. The first thing I want to address is that I believe feeling lonely on this journey is a normal and natural part of the process. And by me going over the 3 reasons why, I think that you will agree. It's something I experienced, and I know countless other people have experienced on their journey, and it's something that I talk to my clients about at the very start of their journey with me, so they are aware of what potentially may lie ahead. Because as you're going through this journey, you are going to be becoming a different version of yourself. And if you aren't aware that people close to you may drop off, it can feel like you're a ship in the middle of a vast ocean with no one around you. And if you aren't aware of that ahead of time, you can go back to your old environment, the old habits, old routines, and old things that got you stuck in the first place. So let's dive into the 3 reasons why self-improvement can feel so lonely. Well, the first one is that it's hard to grow in the same environment that you were stuck. So you have to remove yourself from that old environment if you want to grow. And when you remove yourself from that old environment, your support network can go with that. Not necessarily, some people will stay with you, we're going to cover that in point 2, but it's realizing that when it comes to people who've got addiction, for example, when they go off to rehab, if they come back into the same environment that they got addicted in, chances are they'll go back to that addiction because you can do so much work on yourself. But if you're going back and all the old triggers are there and you haven't actually identified the triggers, it can lead to the same outcome. And on this self-improvement journey, you're going to be unpicking certain people, things, and situations that do trigger you. And again, we've spoken about this before, but what is a trigger? A trigger is a thought, feeling, or emotion about a thing. And if we're not aware of it, it's going to keep triggering us. But here's the thing. When you do become aware of it, which is the whole point of this self-improvement, you then take back your power and you then have a choice. And what you'll find is that you won't want to be around these things that are causing you to feel a certain way that isn't desirable. So you will naturally start to drift away from that old environment because you will realize that environment may have been the thing that got you stuck in the first place. So as you tend to go on this journey, you gain so much awareness. The first thing I talk to my clients about is awareness, because without awareness, nothing can change. And once you become aware of the environment that you're in, and maybe the people there aren't conducive to a growth mindset, you then start to realize, okay, I may need to sort of distance myself. It's been said that you become a collection of the 5 people you spend your most time around. And for the people you spend the most time around, you're looking at them thinking, yeah, I don't want that life. It's nothing against you as a person, you're an amazing person, but I don't want this. Then you have to break away from those 5 people and find a new crowd, and that then can be lonely. It can feel lonely because you're moving out of that comfort zone of your old environment and into a new environment. It's very much like a plant. When a plant first starts to grow, it can only grow to the size of that pot. If the plant wants to grow any bigger, it has to move from that small pot into a bigger pot that is more nourishing for it. So that's point 1. Point 2, it's important to realize that people come into your life, I believe, for one of 3 reasons. They come there for a reason, they come there for a season, or for a lifetime. So the people that come into your life for a reason, they're there for a short amount of time. They're there to just teach you something really short and sharp in that moment. And again, it could be someone that you meet at a grocery store, or it could be someone who says hello to you. There's a reason why you have that really short interaction, and you may not be aware of it at the time, but that person's come into your life for a reason. And they're not normally there for a long time, but they're there for an impactful time, let's say. You've then got people in your life that are there for seasons. Now, these people will help you grow, they will help you learn, and they will share information with you that will better yourself. These people, the first ones, the reasons people and the seasons people, they're not meant to be there forever. They come for a reason and then they leave. They come for a season and they leave, or maybe seasons. But it's realizing that you may outgrow people, and that's okay. As I said in point 1, that doesn't make them bad people. It just means that where they're at right now, they can't support you. They can't give you any more growth. They can't help you learn anymore. And naturally, as you progress, you may be spending less time with them. And that then can become lonely. And then you've got people that will be in your life for a lifetime. And no matter what, they may not understand the journey that you're on, but they will support you no matter what. Because what can happen with people that are in your life for a season is that when they start to see that growth, it's like the crabs in a bucket analogy. They kind of get a bit jealous and envious because you're starting to step out of that little eco bubble and they want to pull you back in. Or you stand out like that tall poppy. Because there's that saying in Japan that the nail that sticks out gets hammered. People don't like it when you sort of step out of that status quo. Because as you start to grow and evolve, people then don't know how to handle this new version of you, and it can make them feel very uncomfortable. So when I first stopped drinking, people felt very uncomfortable around me, and they tried to put that uncomfortableness onto me, saying, "Oh, come on, you're boring, you're this, you're that." They tried to make me feel uncomfortable, when really it was them that was uncomfortable, because I kind of highlighted to them, you may be drinking a bit too much, and I mean, there's another option. Because they didn't want to hear it, they tried to make me feel bad. So that can happen on the self-improvement journey as well, especially when people start to see the fruits of your labour and you really do start to gain clarity and control and confidence. You then highlight to other people, you can have this, but are you willing to do the work? And they don't like that. So the third reason is that when you're going on this journey, there is always going to be an adjustment period. As you're starting to figure yourself out, the reasons why you've been stuck, the reasons why you want to progress and better your life in whatever way that is for you. Again, I'm not here to tell you what you're trying to do on this self-improvement journey, but whatever that is, when you realize why, there's going to be an adjustment period as you step out of that comfort zone. And in that adjustment period, you're going to be trying to figure out who you are. You're going to be trying to figure out your values. What do you actually value? What energy do you want around you? And what are your morals? And while you're trying to figure that out about yourself, you're going to become very aware of other people. You're going to be aware of other people's values and their morals and what energy they bring to the table. And while you're trying to figure that out, just going back to the previous other 2 points, you're going to maybe remove yourself from certain situations while you try and figure people and situations out. Because as that saying, your vibe attracts your tribe. And what's your vibes? The vibrations, the energy that you're giving off. So as you're starting to become this better version of yourself, once you're starting on this self-improvement journey, again, whatever that looks like for you, you may need a period of time where you're just sat and trying to figure it out. Are these people good for my growth? And this is especially hard when it comes to family, because we feel obligated. Oh, they're my family. Yes, I completely understand that, but it's your life and you only get one of them. So if you realize that your family are the people that are actually holding you back, they're actually causing you the issues that are holding you back, you then have some decisions to make. I'm not here to tell you what decisions to make, but it goes back to that saying I've said before on this podcast. If nothing changes, then nothing changes. Your life is your responsibility and no one is coming to save you. Sometimes it takes some big, bold moves to see big, bold changes. I know it can be difficult, but I promise you, going through that uncertainty, going through that time where you can feel isolated, will move you to a place where people will be attracted to you because you start to show up as that true, authentic version of you. It is worth it. It can be lonely, but keep on going. If you've taken any value from today's episode, don't forget to like it and share it with a friend. If you're a long-term listener of the podcast, don't forget to hit that review button as well. It really helps us when it comes to pushing new audiences towards this podcast. Until next time, take it easy.